Hey friends, welcome back to Big Nate's Whiskey Lounge. I am Nate, and I'm continuing to do Bourbon Junkies picks that I have in my collection, and just going to do some reviews on them, and hopefully you'll enjoy this content. Sorry if you don't have these bottles yourself, but also I'm trying to kind of promote them as well. After I'm done doing the Bourbon Junkies bottles I have, I'm going to switch over to Matt Porter, and because I have two of his behind me. I have his Nulu pick, his Knob Creek pick, and as I speak, I'm waiting to get a couple bottles of his New Riff pick. I actually bought 2 bottles of his Nulu pick, and I have 2 bottles of his New Riff pick coming, and I'm probably going to save the spares of both the Nulu and the New Riff to maybe give away at some point if my channel gets big enough for that, or maybe I'll donate it to another channel's charity giveaway. But I'm going to do, this is going to be the Obtainium pick, the Canadian Rye Whiskey that the Bourbon Junkies did back in August. I do not know the mash bill of this. This does come from Cat's Eye Distillery, which does their own stuff. I believe they also work with the Nassif family. And so they also are very famous for Obtainium Light Whiskey, which has kind of hit the market, which usually comes in at like a hazmat proof, which we consider to be 140 or higher. And so, but this is the Canadian Rye Whiskey, and it comes in at 64.3% ABV. It was distilled on December 19th, 2005, my apologies, and it was bottled on August 23rd, 2021, which is kind of cool because that's my brother's birthday, August 23rd. And they labeled this as King of the North. So they kind of did a Game of Thrones-like thing. They did... Sean is up there on the dragon as the... I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I apologize. I think her name is Khaleesi. And then, is that Jon Snow? Is that who Dan is supposed to be? Again, I apologize for getting those characters wrong. I never really watched the show. But I've had this one time and it kind of blew my palate. But I'm really happy to have it. I was really happy to have an Obtainium. The light whiskey has not hit my area. I know that some people have to order it online, so maybe I'll resort to that one of these days, but we're going to give this a shot. I'm going to be using today my Frosted Bourbon Junkies Glen, as well as the newest Bourbon Junkies Coin to cap it. Let's give this a Dan Shook. All right. It doesn't automatically hit me as a rye. So when I was doing the Coach, I'm sorry, I said Coachman the other day. It's actually Coach Gun. I will correct that in the in my narrative for the Bourbon Junkies for that video. I'm not going to correct the video, but I'll correct the narrative so you guys know it's the Coach Gun American whiskey. But that was very rye heavy, and this, even though it is a rye, not really getting rye on the nose. Now I will say this, when it comes to Canadian rye, believe it or not, Canadian rye actually doesn't have any legal laws when it comes to what they call whiskey, and so we don't actually know what this is. We know there's rye in it, but we don't actually know what's in it to make it a rye, or what Canada would call a rye. It's very pretty on the nose though. For being 64.3 ABV, it's not nailing me on proof. Now, this is not my first whiskey of the night. This is my second. So it could be because I've started to get used to proof a little bit, and the other one I had was 52. So this is jumping up in proof, but it's not, I had a little bit touch higher proof alcohol the last one, so maybe I'm starting to acclimate. This is perfumey, to be honest with you. This is perfumey. I'm looking at my tasting board, my note board down here to try to give me little hints as what I'm smelling. It's definitely floral. I'm really getting nothing other than floral. Like if I was smelling a flower, maybe a touch grapey actually. A little grapey. But not real grape, like a grape not necessarily, maybe a grape soda or grape pop. Where I'm from, we call it pop. Like the artificial grape note of it, but obviously not without the effervescence of the carbonated water. Or maybe like there was, I feel like there was a grape smelling body wash, kid body soap thing that I had as a kid that smelled like this. That was a weird way to take it, but okay. There's the proof on the palate. Rye shows up a little bit more. Yeah, that hits, but it tastes really good. I get grape on the taste too. Maybe a little bit like, maybe a touch citrusy. There's a fruitiness to it on the taste that I'm not identifying. I can almost taste myself eating the fruit. Maybe it's like it's like a grapey taste, but it's like eating an orange. So like the way the fleshiness of an orange, the way it kind of separates and you get those little pods of juice and things like that. Kind of like that. It's really good. Really good. I'm going in again, obviously. It's really good. I really enjoy that. I shared when I got that. I shared a Facebook post on my normal Facebook page, not my channel Facebook page, when I bought this, when I received it. You know, a bunch of people that I'm friends with and family are like, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna have to start sharing that so that other people can get a taste. But be warned, it's a heavy hitter. It's heavier than most people that I associate with my day-to-day life would be used to. That's really good. That is the Obtainium Canadian Rye Whiskey, King of the North from Bourbon Junkies. And appreciate you sticking along. I've got one more. Yeah, I got one more video to shoot of the Bourbon Junkies because it's actually, I'm going to do them as a release. So sometimes Dan and Sean will do 2 bottles in one release. The next one I'm going to do is their Wilderness Trail. And I have the bourbon and the rye from that. So we're going to give that a shot. Thanks for sticking along. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.